Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jaya Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi
The following is a class given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on April 12, 1980 in New Orleans, Louisiana. The class begins with a reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 16, Text 11.
So the Bhajananandis, they take a little taste and they want to go on relishing. But Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he has revealed that actually the highest taste comes in chanting with so many devotees and in giving that devotion to others. So the responsibility that Prabhupada has given to all of his followers in disciplic succession, and which has been given before him by the previous acharyas, and ultimately by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is that every person, every house should be approached and they should be begged to please take up the order of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is that order? To chant Hare Krishna, to worship Krishna, and to study the teachings of Krishna, like the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Karo Krishna Shikha. This was the Agya, the order that Lord Nityananda and Haridas, they received. So although the Supreme Personality of Godhead has come as Lord Nityananda, and Lord Brahma has come as Haridas, they're going from every house to beg the people to chant Hare Krishna, to take up this message. So that is how we relish, is that whether it's relishing or not, anyway, we first have our first duty to our spiritual master. We can't forget that. We are completely subordinate to his mercy. So Srila Prabhupada wanted, all the great devotees want, that every person should get the chance to take up chanting. I remember that before I went to India in 1969, 1970, I visited, at that time we were just moved into this New Dwarka, Watsika Avenue address. That time there were little small Radha Krishna deities that were taken around the block, and we would give a morning report. It was very inspiring. And all the devotees would give their report, and Srila Prabhupada was very satisfied. So one morning Srila Prabhupada was taking a walk, and he mentioned that it's not that everyone will be a devotee, shaved up and living in the temple. He didn't say shaved up, but he said living in the temple. Not that everyone will be living in the temple, but just like there are so many churches, or there'll be so many temples, and some devotees who are fully giving their time for preaching, instructing, they'll be living there. And others, hundreds and thousands, they'll be coming sometimes to the temple. In their house they'll be worshipping and chanting. In 1970, I remember that he mentioned that. And this is also in the 5th canto, in one place Srila Prabhupada says, in the purport, that there's no reason why every person in every society all over the world cannot chant Hare Krishna in his home with his family every night. This is a mission. Everyone may not be able to come in our temple, although many more will. Hundreds and thousands and many more temples will be made. But everyone can chant in their home. This type of preaching was started by Lord Nityananda, of course, and that was revived by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Namhat program, where individual houses or in groups anyway, he would encourage them to open up little shops, Shraddha Kutis, houses of faith. And many programs have started now around the society. A few programs have started to encourage people to form the broad Varnashram base the Prabhupada said was yet to be completed in his work, contributing something every month, at least chanting in their homes to form a broad congregation. In this way, there are so many things yet to be done, so many books yet to be distributed to cultivate all these people. But Srila Prabhupada, he was very concerned about the future of the movement which he had spent so much time to cultivate. His whole life he simply prepared, we see from Srila Guru Pad's manifested biography, how he was preparing from his youthful days, simply for preaching Krishna consciousness all over the world. I remember that in Vrindavan, Mayapur also, many times he mentioned that if you can't, so even if you don't expand, I don't mind, in one sense. Even if you don't expand, at least all the good respect, all the buildings, all the things which I have been able to expand, at least maintain. Don't let that deteriorate the smallest bit. Of course, especially in Mayapur, we see the very striking example as practically before our eyes we see the Gaudiya Math crumble with the paint falling off the walls. If they had just maintained the respect that Bhaktisiddhanta had established, the Viceroy of India had gone to the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. If they even maintained that respect, today so many bogus philosophies would not be rampant. So, of course, we're not going to be satisfied with just maintaining. We want to also expand. But the point is how deeply Srila Prabhupada felt. Every step we take must be a step forward. We should be very careful. We should be very cautious. We should be very responsible. What is responsibility? Every disciple is responsible to his spiritual master. What is the principle of devotional service? We are responsible to our spiritual master. And he is responsible to his spiritual master. And he is responsible to his spiritual master. Ultimately, everyone is responsible to Krishna through disciplic succession. So, the order of the spiritual master, that is supreme. Everyone has to serve that order. Whether that individual is a spiritual master or whether he is not a spiritual master, whoever he may be, the order of the spiritual master is supreme over all the disciples. You see, we have seen that in our Sampradaya, Bhaktivinoda Thakur had started a panchayat of 10 men Panchayat means governing body. And he said that whatever they meet privately and decide, that is not different from Lord Nityananda's verdict. That is to be accepted as Nityananda's desire. Then we saw how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he ordered his disciples that you cooperate together, make a governing body. And failing to do so, now everything is crumbled. Just the trace is there. And Prabhupada has very lucidly expressed all these things in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, third part, first few verses, when he's describing Advaita Acharya's 6 sons, 3 being asar or separated because they deviated from the Acharya, and 3 being bona fide because they maintained their loyalty to the order of Advaita Gosai. Even a son of Mahavishnu avatar, if he deviates from Mahavishnu, is no longer considered to be a real son. He's considered to be asar. So, it's an unending struggle to fight with our mind, to fight with our materialistic mind and senses, and materialistic intelligence. We have to fight with our, enemies, or make them our allies by simply making them subservient to the instruction of our spiritual master. So just like our previous acharyas, Srila Prabhupada also said that there must be a governing body, and he made the governing body in his presence. He didn't leave it up to chance. And he sat through so many initial meetings also, just to make sure that everything went nicely. And when he entered into his eternal pastimes, although he's still present here, there's no doubt about that. It's not that he's entered and left us. He's still present, so much present. So carefully watching what is going on. So carefully giving out punishment and reward to make us aware of our mistakes and our success. But at that time when he, however, left from our physical vision, before then, in his will, verbally, so many different ways, he said that he wanted the society to go on under the governing body commission. That is the order of the spiritual master.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare